lovely Abbie Dagrin, and welcome back to my channel, lovelies. Today I'll be continuing a series on my channel that deals with natal chart analysis, and I got a suggestion by actor_2375 to do one on Mahershala Ali. I'll be speaking on his personality traits, his characteristic traits. I'll be speaking on how a lot of the placements he has led to a lot of his success. So please stay tuned for the rest of my video, lovelies. If you have not yet become a part of the Abbie Dagrin family, then this is your calling to do so. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I upload videos on the daily. Please also make sure you hit that like button because I know you guys will love this video. And last but not least, please make sure you share this video with everyone you know, whether it's your friends, your family members, your enemies, anyone who would really love this video or loves Mr. Ali. Now let's get right into the video. Mahershala Ali was born on February 16, 1974, so this qualifies him to be an Aquarius. And even though Aquarius can be a difficult placement in the Sun placement as well as Libra, he's someone who tends to have a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm. And he's someone who loves to play and have fun, but he's someone who can also come into reality as well. He's someone who is very humanitarian at heart. He loves to do things for people. He is someone who is known to be very brilliant in his thinking, and he has the ability to think outside of the box. He's also someone who's very intelligent, and people who have Aquarius placements, especially if you're an Aquarius sun, are able to create different things. They're very innovative, and they're some of the most idealistic people you will ever meet. They're able to make a lot of inventions or make a lot of prophecies that happen to be true later on as well. Up next is his moon in Capricorn. So this is a pretty difficult placement as well to have, but they tend to be very practical people. They're very well-rounded. They're very rational and they're very practical, and they always know what is best for them. Even though Capricorn is a pretty hard placement to have in the moon placement, they are the types of people who tend to be very reserved, very committed, very realistic. He's very capable and resilient. He's very practical as well, and he's very ambitious in everything that he wants. He's going to make sure he works as hard as he needs to in order to get what he wants in life. Because of this placement, people can be prone to depression because they have a hard time expressing how they feel, and they don't like to express emotions easily, and they can come across as cold and sarcastic. However, they do have a heart of gold, and if they truly love you, you will never see the end of that. Up next would be his Mercury in Pisces, and this is another difficult placement to have because Pisces in Mercury is debilitated and it's in its fall. So he has a very interesting placement in his chart, but this is a very beautiful placement. Even though it can be hard, they love to focus on the mood of a situation rather than the facts sometimes, and this can be very much difficult. They have a hard time really explaining themselves, or they have a hard time really talking about their feelings. They are comfortable in sadness and healing in voice. They can be evasive sometimes, and they can be very flirtatious. They have a very wild imagination. They do have a wandering mind, but they are very compassionate people. They're very empathetic, and they're the types of people who are very intuitive and can be psychic as well. They can be very artistic, and they heal by using anything that they can put their hands on. Up next would be his Venus in Capricorn, and with this placement, he is the type of person who tries to win over other people's heart by displaying self-control, presence of mind, and reasonable behavior. He's also someone who's very mature and wants someone who is mature as well. He can be very responsible in a relationship. He's very hardworking, very successful, and very socially validated. He's someone who is impressed with intelligence and determination. He's someone who likes predictability in his relationships. He can be someone who can be by himself, alone, or anyone with this placement. They have very old-fashioned love ideas. They want someone who they can count on. They also want someone who wants material wealth just like them, and they love to show their emotions and affections through actions, and they may be conservative in their feelings, but they're very shy and nice people. Up next is his Mars in Taurus. So with this placement, he's someone who's very influential. He's someone who's very patient. He's very intelligent, financially prosperous, and conscientious. He's someone who also loves to do things in a timely manner. He's someone who always will strive for good health. He has very great energy distribution skills, so he does not give his energy to just one thing. He's very open-minded in regards to what he gives his energy to. He's very practical-minded. He's very purposeful. He has a lot of different talents. He's someone who can build a very stable business or empire because of the patience he has and the patience that went into making it the best that it can be. He loves to achieve and maintain wealth and abundance, and that's something that he's very great at, and he's been successful at doing that as well. Next up would be his Jupiter in Aquarius. So with this placement, they tend to be very welcoming and accommodating. They're very intellectual, and they learned through wealth. They are the types of people who love justice. They love diversity. They accept people for who they are, and they are the types of people who are just open-minded, and they just won't judge you. They're just going to make sure that you feel comfortable around them and that you're just happy around them. They're also the types of people who are very popular and humane. This is another popularity placement. They're the types of people who bring good fortune through their inventive thought process, because Aquarius placements are very much inventive and they love to do different things, and this can really bring them a lot of wealth and a lot of good fortune because they're able to think outside the box and do things that are different, that other people in the future will see that they really did something very great for society. Up next would be his Saturn in Gemini, and with this placement, he has the ability to articulate information, solve problems, and handle details. They tend to be the types of people whose mind overpowers their heart, so they like to stick to the facts instead of feelings. They're the types of people who are very business savvy, and they are easy to work with because they have so much information, and since they are a mutable sign, they're able to mold into different types of arenas and areas because of this. They do have a problem while their confidence is data-driven. Their confidence in herself can probably be lacking. They also struggle with self-doubt, and sometimes they can be in a great path, but because they don't believe in themselves, they will usually just be unsure of an opportunity they have and just leave. So having self-doubt and believing in themselves that they know what they're doing is extremely important. Up next would be his Uranus in Libra. And with this lovely placement, he's someone who is constantly coming up with new ideas to look at things in a different way. He tries himself to be very open-minded, and he's someone who loves to do things differently and is open to others' opinions in different ways and doing things as well. He's also someone who loves to have a very stable, conventional, and free entire peer group. However, with this placement, sometimes it can be hard because relationships and emotional commitments is something that they really look at and try their best to really get that. Personal freedom is very important to them, and entangling emotional bonds is something they do not like. They love aesthetics, and they love doing things that are shocking and very unusual. So this is an interesting placement. Up next would be his Neptune in Sagittarius. So with this placement, he's someone who has a very great thrill in having a lot of variety, exciting, uplifting experiences and learning new things. That's something he loves and he most definitely prefers in life. He's someone who also loves to do things that are great, loves to do things that are fun. He's very open-minded because of this placement, and he's someone who just loves to do things that are very great. He's someone who may love to travel. He's someone who may love to read about different cultures or go visit different cultures or even join different cultures and religions and different teachings because he has that open-mindedness to him. This is something that is beneficial for not him, but anyone with this placement because they're able to just be themselves and be different and just do a lot of traveling. So this is something that is very great and very beneficial and very important as well. So this is a very lovely placement. Up next would be his Pluto in Libra, and he's been able to get this placement because he was born between 1972 and 1984. So this is Generation Y. That's the type of generation he's a part of. They're all about harmony, symmetry, agreement, and pleasantness. That's the vibe, and that's the theme of this generation, Generation Y. They love finding a common ground and love cooperation as well. They're the types of people who want to make sure everyone is happy, everyone is pleased, and everyone is great. They're the types of people who want to make sure that there's a compromise, and this can be hard because sometimes compromise is not possible because it wouldn't benefit certain people. Global politics, transform relationships is something that is another theme that this generation likes and this generation really appreciates and really loves. So having this placement, he's also great at looking at the problems in society and seeing the hidden problems. Up next would be his North Node in Sagittarius. He has a pretty good amount of Sagittarius placement. He's someone who, in order for him to really get the gifts and talents that he needs, he'll need to develop this. So reliance on his intuition, his prophetic abilities, and invisible guidance, speaking from a higher consciousness. He's someone who loves developing a sense of freedom and adventure. He has direct communication free from any type of censorship. He loves to trust himself. He loves spending time alone and in nature. And patience is something he will need to love to do. Intuitive listening and hearing the meaning behind words. Freeing up his mind from the horizons and learning the way of the spirit. Connecting to nature. Teaching and inspiring others to live a life of splendidness. Giving up superficial connections in exchange for divine connections, and focusing his energies on intellectual and spiritual pursuits. Up next would be his Chiron in Aries, and this is actually the hardest Chiron to have because it's about yourself. Usually the other Chirons have to do with external forces that affect us and consistently keep wounding us. However, with Chiron in Aries, this has to do with how you view yourself, how you see yourself. And overcoming that wound can be hard because not believing in yourself is something that can really lead down a really bad path. Comparing themselves to others is something that comes with this placement, and being self-engrossed. Ways to heal this placement though is moving forward. They have to love themselves, which is easier said than done, but accepting that everyone is different and that you're everyone and it's okay for you to be different and make mistakes. Acknowledging their strengths and weaknesses is something that's very important as well, and knowing that your strengths and weaknesses are there. So exercise your strengths and try your best to make your weaknesses your strengths if that's possible. Up next will be his ascendant/rising in Libra. So with this placement, he's the type of person that's very pleasant, very charismatic. He's also someone who loves to preserve the peace to avoid conflict at all costs. He dislikes being alone. He's someone who is keen to fashion, self-aware of his looks. He can be softly persuasive and makes a good mediator. He's someone who can have the tendency to pass up blame to keep up the nice image. He can appear friendly but can be detached or shallow. He can be very romantic, very gracious. He typically has a lot of friends and he's very polite. He's someone who's very funny and pleasant to be around. That's something that is very much Libra energy. He's someone who just loves to have fun and loves to really network with people and get to know people on a different level. And this really does benefit him in regards to his career. Last but not least would be his midheaven in Leo. So this is actually one of the top midheavens to have. So the top one is Capricorn because it is ruled by the 10th house, which is the midheaven. Aries midheaven and Leo midheavens are some of the most successful midheavens for us to ever have. So with this placement, it makes sense why he's famous. This is a fame placement. He tends to be very tenacious in regards to his career, very ambitious, very loyal, very bold, and very generous. He loves directing a team, very directive in regards to his abilities. He's very creative in his solutions, and he loves giving feedback. He's also someone who loves to just do things differently than other people. He's someone who is going to always find the spotlight on them, even though they don't want it. He's destined for some type of greatness, and he's someone who is great at being the center stage and in control. That's all I have for you lovelies today in regards to Mr. Ali's natal chart. Please let me know down below, did you learn more about him? And thank you so much for the suggestion from actor_2375. Please let me know also down below who else you guys would want me to do a natal chart analysis. Please make sure you are subscribed to the channel and you've hit that notification bell. Make sure you hit that like button and that share button. And last but not least, please make sure you're following me on all my social media accounts, from my Facebook to my podcast under Abbie Dagrin, my Etsy store to my Instagram under Gael Beauty, and my PayPal that is linked down below. I love you all. Please stay safe and healthy, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, lovelies.